Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. And with this episode, we are doing another box office breakdown to where I run down the numbers. Now, I do apologize. It's been a while since I've done these. I'm not going to make any excuses, but I'm here for you now. This will be a short box office recap. I can't wait for this coming weekend to where we have Spider-Man Far From Home hitting theaters. I'm really curious to what that opening weekend is going to be. Some are projecting about $160 million, which would be great, but we're just going to have to see. But right now, we have other films that we can talk about that opened this past week. We have a few new releases with Annabelle Comes Home and Yesterday. Now, I have seen both of these films, and I like them both. I have a review for Annabelle right now on my channel. Yesterday, I don't have a review yet, but it is coming. I'm probably going to film that tomorrow. But they're both great films. But let's go ahead and look at the top 5 and see how everything is performing. Did they make the top 5? Well, yes, they did. Coming in at number 1, we have Toy Story, of course. Toy Story 4, the fourth in the franchise. It brought in $59 million in its second week of release, $59,700,331. Now, it only had a 50% drop, which in my opinion is pretty good. A lot of people are just kind of saying, oh, you know, it's a failure, it underperformed. I necessarily don't look at it that way. I see this as a win. I mean, sometimes when these studios have these projections, I mean, the guys, these are normal human beings like me and you that have a job. They're not mystical, magical creatures from Planet X with, all types of knowledge and wisdom. They make mistakes just like everybody else, and they can make mistakes with these projections and get a little overzealous. So Toy Story, of course, its opening weekend was $120 million, which is the most successful in the franchise. Okay, if you look at everything, and this past weekend it brought in that good old $59 million in the second week. Now I think that's doing great. It's in 45,000 theaters, not 45,000, 4,575 theaters. It had a $13,049 theater average, and it's just doing great right now. It is at $509 million worldwide, half to $1 billion. And Toy Story 3 did make $1 billion. Now, in my humble opinion, if Toy Story 4 does not crack at least $1 billion, I don't want to necessarily say that's a failure. No, that's the wrong word you want to choose, but it will be a disappointment. Even if it doesn't make $1 billion, it's still going to make money for the budget. And actually, I don't even know what the budget is. Let me try to look that up real quick. Production budget for Toy Story 4 is going to be coming in at a whopping, let's see here, $200 million. And so if it makes another $100 million worldwide, $600 million, it's going to be in profit land, or, the studios are going to be like, hey, we have a respectable profit. We didn't lose money. And why, we do the rule of 3 over here. We take the production budget, we times it by 3, and whatever that is, that's what the film needs to make for the studios to have a respectable profit, because you have the production budget, you have the marketing budget, and you also have the 33% that goes to the theater/theater owners. So I think everybody over at Walt Disney, Buena Vista, they have nothing to worry about. Toy Story is going to be just fine, as expected. But coming in at number 2 in this past weekend is Annabelle Comes Home. In this first week of release, it brought in $20 million over the weekend. It is in 3,613 theaters. And, right now worldwide, the film is at $80 million. This was the most expensive film to make in the Conjuring franchise. I believe this is like either number 7 or number 8, as far as because we have two Conjuring. We have 3 Annabelles, so that's 5. Then we have The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona. I don't think there's any. If I left one out, please help me out in the comment section below. But it was a good film. I really enjoyed it. And as far as the production budget is concerned, it says 27 to 32 million. So we're just going to say 32 million to be on the safe side. So that would need to make $96 million worldwide. And I think it's going to do that. It's going to have no problem doing that. Go check out the review for the film on my channel right now. It is there for your viewing and listening entertainment. Yesterday is coming in at number 3, another new release. Like I said, I have seen the film. It brought in $17 million its first weekend of release. It's in 2,603 theaters, directed by Mr. Danny Boyle. And right now it is at $26 million worldwide. The production budget for this film was $26 million. So let me just see what this is times 3. I can't do it in my head. Well, 25 times 3 is 75. So what is it, 78? Yeah, 78. Or I hit a 0 times 3. Yeah, 78. So this needs to make $78 million worldwide. And when I'm looking at this, I'm just kind of thinking $26 million, that's not expensive. But at the same time, after I've seen the film, I kind of feel like it still could have been made for cheaper. Maybe I'm just not too familiar with the main actor and actress, Well, Kate McKinnon was in this film. I'm not going to talk about her performance because, I imagine that a good amount of this went to some salaries. But the $26 million it's not cheap. It's not expensive, excuse me. It is cheap. It's not like a $9 million one or something, but, but yesterday is, we'll just have to see what the drop is next week. I enjoyed the film. That's all I'll say. You can find out more when I'm talking about my review, but it's doing all right. $26 million worldwide, and it brought in $17 million this past weekend. Now, something that impresses me even more is Aladdin. It is coming in at number 4, still in the top 5. It only dropped another 23.6%. So it brought in $10 million, $10,114,122. It is in its 6th week of release, okay? And it is still just hanging in, not the top 10, but the top 5. I think like it dropped like 30%, then 29%, then 29%, now 23%. So this is crazy. This is also the most successful film in Will Smith's filmography and his whole film career. That's amazing. It surpassed, I believe, what was it, Independence Day at around 800 million, and right now Aladdin is at 878 million. Of course, it's easily going to make I'm going to say billion, $900 million. It'll be at 900 million by the end of this time next week or by the weekend. I'm very, very confident in that. Will it make $1 billion? I doubt it. Maybe like 950, 960, if we're pushing it, because it has opened in all of its territories around the world. I believe, it opened here in the States. It says July 1st, but I thought it opened, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Japan was one of the last territories that it took to open in. Yeah, see, like on IMDb, I knew it. I don't know why it says July. I was looking at that wrong. That was stupid. Did it come out yesterday or the day? No, of course not. It came out May 24th, but I believe the last territory that it opened in was Japan, which opened on June the 7th or the June 7th or June 4th. Let me just go ahead and try to double check that real quick. Yeah, Japan and June 7th. In Japan is fine. They're not China as far as, bringing in big, blockbuster numbers or anything like that. But so I don't think it's going to make 1 billion. It doesn't need to. It only needed to make about 500. Well, let's just do the math. 180. The production budget was 183 million times 3, 549. And it is at $878 million right now. So that's just doing great. Like I said, it's going to make $900 million. And I feel like nobody is really talking about it too, but hey, I got to give it to you, Aladdin, everybody involved, it's doing a great job. And just also real quick, what's interesting to me is, where is it at? See, this changed so much because I could have sworn on Sunday, Dumbo was, maybe I was just looking at that wrong, but Dumbo is in the top 27 right now in its 14th week of release. So I can only imagine what Aladdin is going to be doing in this 14th, 15th or 20th week of release. That'll just be outstanding. Coming in at number 5 is The Secret Life of Pets 2. It brought in $7.3 million at 28.7. Excuse me. It had a drop of 28.7%. That's a good drop, but at the same time, it wasn't making money in the first place. It's in its 4th week of release. Right now, worldwide, it is at $224 million. So it's not doing too shabby. I mean, it's in that thing. It needs to make 240 million. So 80 times 3, yeah, 240 million, for it to be a respectable profit. So Universal is not crying. I mean, right now it's kind of in the break even territory. But in my opinion, this film, I don't like calling films that don't lose money failures. It may be a huge disappointment, because if you look at the Secret Life of the Pets 2, that made $368 million domestically and $875 million worldwide. And this was just 3 years ago. Like, what the hell happened? I just don't understand. If anybody has any insider information, if you've been reading the blogs and the posts and all the reporting, in Hollywood on why this is not performing that great, let me know. I mean, the first one came out July 8th. This one came out in June around the same time, but yeah, it's a significantly high amount of number from the first film. Now, just closing out the top 10 real quick, Men in Black is at number 6 at 6.6 million. That film is not doing too well. It needs to make another $100 million. As Avengers we'll come back to Avengers Endgame at number 7. Child's Play at number 8. It's in the second week of release, man. It had a 68% drop. This film is not doing well, in my opinion. It brought in $4.4 million. Okay, the production budget was only $10 million bucks. And I say only 10 million like I'm a millionaire, but in Hollywood terms, it's only $10 million. So it needed to make $30 million worldwide. I don't know if it's going to have a worldwide release, but right now domestically, it is looking at $24 million. So it's just a little less than $6 million away from that. But let's look at. I just want to see if real quick if it is going to have a super wide release. Yeah, it says it's open around the world. Oh yeah, this is gonna make its money back, and more. Yeah, more than half of its territory is open in July 11th all the way down to July 25th. So it's gonna make some money. Hopefully, I mean, $10 million. That's just not a lot for a semi-popular franchise like Child's Play. Coming in at number 9 is Rocket Man at 3.9 million, and coming in at number 10 is John Wick 3 Parabellum, dropped another 20.5%, which is great. It's in its 7th week of release, and it's still in the top 10. And right now, worldwide, it's at $304 million. So big ups to you, Lionsgate and Summit. Now, going back to number 7 on the top 10 real quick, we have Avengers Endgame. Of course, it's not a re-release. They just kind of added on some. It was still in theaters. They added another 1,040 theaters and just had the post-credit scenes. They brought in $6.1 million. So right now it is it is 22 million, a little more than $22 million away from Avengers Endgame. I would not bet on it that it's going to catch it. But however, if Spider-Man Far From Home wasn't coming out it's out now, but if it wasn't coming out this weekend, you guys know what I mean. It just wouldn't make it, but we don't know. I have no idea. I cannot call this, because what Marvel Studios is doing at Disney, this is unprecedented with their cinematic universe. So all we can do is look at the patterns from other films. Is when you have more than one MCU film in theaters at one time, the second or third film always gets a boost from the first or second film that came before it. And so I do imagine that Avengers Endgame will receive some type of boost. I'm not entirely sure if it will reach $20 million. I think it'll come short of maybe like $8 million bucks. And which is still fine. Of course, it's not a failure at all. That would be stupid to for someone to try to make that argument. But it brought in Monday, yesterday, it brought in $873,000. And so, we'll just have to see, but I can't wait for this weekend. I'm going to give a full, like I usually do, box office breakdown with all the graphics and things like that. So guys, do not worry. But guys, that is just my opinion. What did you think about the box office results for this past weekend? Please let me know down below in the comment section. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine, but you can still subscribe and also look me up on social media. But guys, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review/reaction for the box office numbers for yesterday and Annabelle Comes Home. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.